Night one of the first two-night SummerSlam is done and over, and there's a lot to unpack, so just like I do with every pay-per-view, I took a shower, I jerked off, and I got my thoughts together, so let's talk about it. We opened up the night with Roman Reigns and Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. During the match, Jey Uso would run his theme song back during the match, and can we just cut this shit out? Braun Breaker would have Jey Uso in a headlock singing the Roman Reigns chant at Roman. Braun would go for a dive onto the announce table, but Jey would move out of the way. And as Jey's trying to hot tag Roman, Braun comes back and stops Jey before he can get the tag. Roman absolutely leaps over the ropes onto Braun and Bronson. As Braun's going to spear Roman and Jey through the barricade, Roman hits him with a Superman punch and spears him through the barricade instead. Towards the end, Braun's going for the spear on Jey Uso, but Roman would push him out of the way, taking the spear for him, and ultimately Jey would hit the Uso splash on Bronson Reed, winning the match for him and Roman. Very good match, and a great opener for SummerSlam. If this match didn't main event, this is the next best spot for it. Unfortunate news, however, after the match, Braun Breaker would be seen limping to the back. I hope it's nothing too serious, because I would love to see Braun and Bronson win the World Tag Team Championships. Next up is Raquel Rodriquez and Roxxane Perez versus Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss for the Women's Tag Team Championships. Alexa's looking to hit Raquel, but she accidentally hits Charlotte Flair instead. Raquel would hit the Tejana Bomb, and Roxanne would hit Pop Rocks on Charlotte, but Alexa Bliss would be able to save the match. Towards the end, Alexa has Roxanne set up for the Sister Abigail, but Charlotte looks very angry, and it looks like Charlotte Flair is going to get back at Alexa, but actually she boots Raquel, allowing Alexa Bliss to hit the Sister Abigail and win the match. Now Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss are the new Women's Tag Team Champions. It was a pretty decent match, I liked it. Next up, unfortunately, is Karrion Kross versus Sami Zayn. Scarlett would hand Kross a steel pipe, but as he's going to hit Sami Zayn with it, Sami would hit him with a blue thunder bomb, but the ref was a little too late to the count, so Kross would be able to kick out. Scarlett would offer the pipe to Sami this time, wanting Sami to go to the dark side, but Sami won't do it and he throws the pipe out. Towards the end, Sami would hit the exploder into the corner on Kross, but it looks like he's sandbagging and he lands on his neck, and Sami would hit the haluva kick and win the match. Thank God this match didn't last too long. Yet again, another awful Karrion Kross match. The next stop for Sami Zayn has to be him winning the Royal Rumble. Next up is Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill for the WWE Women's Championship. Tiffany would hit a picture-perfect swanton. Tiffany would go for the prettiest moonsault, but Jade would get her feet up, reversing it, and just laying out Tiffany. Jade would hit Jada, but Tiffany would be able to get her feet on the ropes. Jade would go for the Jaded off the top rope, but Tiffany would be able to reverse it. And Tiffany would ultimately hit the prettiest moonsault, winning the match and retaining her WWE Women's Championship. Now, I for sure thought Jade was winning this match, but I guess not. I don't even know what to say for this match, honestly. It only went 7 minutes. Karrion Kross's unfortunate ass got more time than they did. The question now is, where does Jade go from here? Next up is Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre. We had to sit through those two questionable matches, and now we have to fucking watch Logan Paul. Logan Paul would cheap shot Jelly Roll before the match starts. Most of this match is just Logan and Drew beating the shit out of Jelly Roll. Logan Paul would splash through the announce table onto Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll would have to be helped to the back, but Jelly Roll has the heart of a warrior, like it's the WWE 2K15 soundtrack, and he comes back. Randy would hot tag Jelly Roll in, and he starts cleaning house. He choke slams Logan Paul and hits a fall-away slam on Drew McIntyre, but it's not enough as Logan Paul would hit the frog splash on Jelly Roll, winning the match. This match wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, but it still wasn't good either. And we move on to the main event of night one, CM Punk versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. CM Punk would come out with a Fantastic Four attire on. Gunther has Punk in the corner, just dismantling him with chops to his back, his chest, his hamstrings, just about anywhere you can get a chop in. Punk seems to be fighting back, but Gunther chops him so hard his sweat's flying everywhere. Gunther is just dominating Punk this whole match. Gunther has Punk in a sharpshooter, but Punk would reverse it into a sharpshooter of his own. Punk would go for his corner knee, but Gunther would catch him and powerbomb him right on his head. But Punk would be able to kick out. Punk would go for a GTS, but Gunther would block it and hit him with another powerbomb. Gunther would hit the dinosaur drop kick and hit yet another powerbomb on Punk. But yet again, Punk will not die. He kicks out. Gunther would send Punk into the ring post. Gunther would be on the announce table prematurely celebrating, and Punk would be able to trip him onto the announce table, buying him some breathing room. And as Gunther reappears from under the announce table, he's just pouring blood. As Punk's going for another GTS, Gunther would reverse and put him in a sleeper hold, but Punk would be able to fight off the sleeper hold and hit a GTS. But Gunther is still standing. The son of a bitch won't fall. But Punk hits another GTS, finally putting Gunther down and winning the World Heavyweight Championship. Gunther's arrogance yet yet again has cost him another championship match. Fantastic match. These fucking idiots had the gall to have Gunther in matches with Jey Uso and Pat McAfee. With tears in his eyes, Punk holds the world championship in his arms. But as he's celebrating, Seth Rollins' music would hit. Out comes Seth Rollins on his crutches, warning Punk that he's coming for him. But as Rollins is leaving, he throws down the crutches and takes off his leg brace. He runs down to the ring. It was all a ruse. Rollins cashes in his Money in the Bank and hits a curb stomp on Punk, winning the World Heavyweight Championship. What a way to end off night one of SummerSlam. And that was night one. There was a lot to love and a lot to hate about this night, so let's see what night two can bring us. Night two of SummerSlam has just ended, and what the fuck? We open up night two with Naomi versus Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky for the Women's World Championship. Naomi would have her dad playing guitar for her entrance in a nice moment. Naomi would bite Rhea's thumb. Io would hit Rhea with a nasty poison rana. Io would hit a springboard moonsault onto both women. Naomi would hit the split-legged moonsault on Rhea while Io was on the top rope. And as Naomi's going for the pin, she moves as Io's hitting over the moonsault. Rhea would hit an avalanche riptide, but as Rhea's going for the pin, Naomi rose her up, stealing the match and retaining her Women's World Championship. Very great match. Naomi definitely proved herself as the world champion, and Rhea and Io proved yet again that they are two of the very best. Next up would be the 6-way TLC match for the WWE Tag Team Championships. Gargano would hit a tornado DDT on Gacy through a table on the outside. Loomis would then hit a drop kick on Montez through a table on the outside. Rey Fenix would hit a frog splash on Frazier through a table on the outside. And to top off all this chaos, Axiom would hit a Spanish fly on Dawkins through a table on the outside. Candice LeRae would try to grab the tag titles for DIY, but Montez would kick Ciampa, causing him to bump into Gargano, and he accidentally pushes Candice onto the outside through a ladder. Ciampa would be dangling off the belts, and Frazier would try and spear him off, but as he does, Ciampa pulls himself up to dodge him like he's Spider-Man. DIY would have the tag titles in their hands, but Uncle Howdy would push them through a mountain of tables on the outside. But ultimately, the Wide Six would retain their WWE Tag Team Championships. Very fun and chaotic match. I was expecting literally anyone else than the Wide Six to win this match, but that aside, this still might go down as one of the greatest TLC matches of all time. Next up is Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch, no disqualifications for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Becky would come out with her new theme song. It's pretty good, I like it, but Celtic Invasion will always be iconic. Lyra would accidentally throw Becky Lynch into a cameraman. Becky would wrap a chain around Lyra's mouth while it's around the ring post. Becky would golf swing a kendo stick into Lyra. Becky still thinks she's on the set of Happy Gilmore 2. Becky would pull a Randy Orton and beat Lyra with a kendo stick while she's tied to the ring post. Becky would have Lyra trapped in a chair and she would jump off the announce table, kicking the chair around her. Becky would try to hit Lyra with a crowbar, but Bayley's there to stop her. While Becky's catching her breath on a table, Lyra comes out of nowhere and leg drops Becky through the table. Bayley would try to hit Becky with a chain, but Becky would move and Bayley would accidentally hit Lyra, and that would allow Becky to hit the manhandle slam and win the match, retaining her Intercontinental Championship. Yet again, another fantastic match between Lyra and Becky Lynch. Next up is Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa in a steel cage for the United States Championship. Towards the end, Tala Tonga would handcuff Jacob Fatu to the cage, but Fatu would be able to break the handcuffs to stop Solo from escaping. Fatu would be stopping Solo from escaping, but Tala Tonga would kick the door into Fatu's face, and that would allow Solo to escape and retain his United States Championship. After the match, Fatu would hit a moonsault off the top of the steel cage onto Solo's men. I'm gonna be honest, that match was kinda ass. To be honest, I'm honestly just sick of the bloodline. Next up is Dominic Mysterio versus AJ Styles for the Intercontinental Championship. AJ Styles pulls up in a lowrider with his son, and AJ has an absolutely amazing Eddie Guerrero attire. On the anniversary of Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio facing each other for the custody of Dominic. As the refs distracted, Dominic would bring out a chair and he would try to lie, cheat, and steal just like Eddie Guerrero, but AJ would one-up him and wrap the chair around his neck. Towards the end, AJ has Dominic in the calf crusher, but AJ will pull Dominic's boot off, and Dominic will be able to use his boot to hit AJ, leading to him hitting the frog splash and retaining his Intercontinental Championship. It was a decent match, it could have been better, and this may be the last time we see AJ Styles compete at SummerSlam. We move on to the main event, John Cena versus Cody Rhodes in a street fight for the WWE Undisputed Championship. Cody would come out with a beautiful tribute of Dusty Rhodes. John Cena would come out and it looks like he's still a heel, but the Titantron lights up and he talks to Stu and does his classic classic run. The Cena we all know and love is back, and I'm really glad they just retconned John Cena's heel turn on SmackDown. Cena would steal Tyrese Halliburton's crutches and use them on Cody. Cena would throw some steel steps on Cody onto the outside. Cody would pull out a pile driver on Cena. Cena would pop Cody with a microphone. Then Cena pulls out a sunset flip on the outside. Cena would AA Cody off an announce table through the other announce table. The fight would eventually spill out into the crowd, and Cody would suplex Cena on a steel barricade. Cody and Cena would go under the stage, and Cena would come up the elevator shaft of Cody on his shoulders. Cena would hit Cody with an AA on the stage. Cody would loosen the bottom ropes and hit Cena with the head of the turnbuckle. But the third time Cody would try and hit Cena, he would slip him into an STF with the rope. Cody would hit a Cody cutter off the top rope through a table. Cody would salute Cena and hit one last final crossroads, winning the match and winning the WWE Undisputed Championship. Pretty good match. Easily the best of Cena's retirement tour. After the match, Cena would be in the ring thanking the crowd in his final SummerSlam match. And as Cena's about to leave, music hits. But not just any music. It's the music of Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar would come down to the ring and F5 John Cena, and the show would end. What a horrible way to end what was a great show up until this point. Was it really worth it to bring back a sexual predator for aura and hype moments? This is the same Brock Lesnar who was in the sex trafficking lawsuit where Vince McMahon bribed him to re-sign by forcing a woman to create sexual content just for him. The same Brock Lesnar who was still a part of the active litigation against WWE and Vince McMahon in the Janelle Grant case. WWE had announced that they were ending their post-show press conferences, and now we know why. Because they didn't want to answer any questions about Brock Lesnar's allegations. They know what they're doing is wrong. Now usually I would end off these pay-per-view videos telling you if the pay-per-view was good or not and what I liked about it, but I think to end this video off, I'd just like to say, if you're happy about Brock Lesnar being back, purely and simply, fuck you. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. I'll make more silly videos like this in the future, so stop on by when the time comes. Until then, be careful.